Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you find your way to watch or listen to this. This is the Hardware Podcast, which is a bit of a special topic. We're not talking about awards here, but I had an idea a couple nights ago. Just randomly looking at games on FB schedules, and I figured we could use Jackson's expertise in a certain topic to have a conversation here. But yeah, so I was thinking about the other night, me being a huge Ivy League fan and looking at the Ivy League slate of games this year. Princeton visits Stetson for I think one of, if not the first time ever, a rare appearance in the Sunshine State, where they will play in that school in DeLand, Florida, an hour away from Orlando. And I thought to myself, it's like, why not make this a special event and have the Princeton Tigers have a trip to Disney World, along the way too, and make it a truly special event. And then so I thought Jackson here is a huge Disney guy, huge fan of Disney. So, I figured it's like, why not we do a Disney college football type of crossover episode? So this is where we're at. So I mean, if you're looking at us funny by this point, if you're looking at us funny from this point, it's like, what do Disney and college football have to do with each other? So from the notes that Jackson compiled here, ESPN, of course, is under the Disney umbrella. You don't need to tell anyone twice. If you have the Disney Plus, ESPN Plus bundle, you would know that, because I mean, I struggle because I just want to pay for ESPN Plus, but my family wants Disney Plus, so that's a struggle I have. I'm well familiar with the Disney ESPN umbrella. And then also too, ESPN has broadcasted Game Day. The 2019 College Game Day was broadcast inside of Magic Kingdom for the Camping World kickoff game. I had no idea. I didn't pay attention to that. I don't really watch. Jackson's gonna hate me, but I don't really watch College Game Day. He's gonna hate. I'll let him.
It's a must for me, man. You can't start off your college football Saturday with anything but College Game Day.
I just like sleeping, bro. I mean, it's like wake me up for the
Sleep's
games.
overrated.
Wake me up for the games. But yeah, so there is also that. And then Epcot Disney has offered theme snacks to teams playing that week. Playing that week. Is that in Orlando or is that in the
Monday Night
Classic?
Football? For Monday Night
For Monday Night Football. I didn't know that. So ESPN or Disney has done that. And then this is like when I first had the idea too, when Jackson told me that Rose Bowl media days have taken place several years in Disney's California Adventure in Cars Lands and on Pixar. And he showed me the pictures, I guess. I know the picture went viral of I didn't know that was a media day, but the picture went viral of Ryan Day smiling at Disneyland with I think CJ Stroud and I think it was Jackson Smith and Jigba in the background, just like having a straight face, like not wanting to be there. But I thought that was just like a 1 year thing. So Disney is heavily involved in college football, and for those of you old timers that are watching this, I guess that's not a great term, but for those of you of age watching this,
it's even worse.
Sorry, jeez. For those of you who remember, from 1990 to 1994. There was a kickoff game in Anaheim in pretty much the precursor to week 0. Of course, it was the last week of August, but it wasn't exactly called week 0. But there was a kickoff game called the Pigskin Classic, played at the Anaheim Angels Stadium, and Disney was heavily involved in it. I mean, you can find merchandise with Disney or with Mickey Mouse holding a football. And it'll say the Pigskin Classic of whatever year. In fact, I found a couple button pins that I want to get and just put outside of my windbreakers, for fashion sense. But yeah, Disney's heavily involved, so it's not as wild an idea. But yeah, Jackson, I'll let you take the soapbox since you're probably the one that's gonna be doing most of the talking for the most part of this podcast.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, these two things have intertwined probably more than we realize. We've also seen Disney dabble in the NFL a little bit. We mentioned the Epcot snacks for Monday Night Football. There are also, for a couple years, if you remember, there was the Pro Bowl in Orlando. The actual game didn't take place on Disney property, but the practices were at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, which is really like a big sports facility for Disney World with a few practice fields. I think some spring training for the MLB has taken place there too. And there's Star Wars and, Mickey Mouse Pro Bowl merchandise that you can also find on eBay. So we've seen them dabble in this a little bit. And it's something that, hey, how can Disney promote these bowl games that they own, by the way, within the parks? More views for that, more merchandise sold. So, hey, it's really a win-win for everyone, right? So we'll go ahead. And I'm going to start with probably the most obvious one, right? And probably what you were thinking of when you first talked about Princeton. Practices for, the Citrus Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl, all the Orlando-based games that are owned by Disney or broadcasted on Disney networks have those practices at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, man. Have some public settings where, people that are traveling there, just, I'm sure there are Princeton fans at Disney World every day, right? That can make the short drive over to the Wide World of Sports and, show some love at the practice, just like fans did at the Pro Bowl. Omar, that's something you'd attend, right? That's something you go on property for.
No, because you're talking about practice. We ain't talking about a game. You're talking about practice, Jackson. To quote Allen Iverson. But no, I mean that's definitely something that's novel too, for sure. I know the Pro Bowl practices in Vegas were something that was like, well attended because this is like players having fun and stuff. Now, of course, like for practices for Princeton versus Stetson game, of course, like they'll be more serious in the Pro Bowl. There'll be no Mac Jones grittying, the practice and whatnot. But that's definitely something that's interesting. And I feel like with that, something with that, like you don't want a game that's more of a week-long event. Or like, because typically like your average games aren't week-long events. I saw someone on a HBCU Twitter make a point about having more games at NFL stadiums, how like the NFL could help with those environments. But someone said the NFL games are just a one-day experience, and HBCU Classic are like a weekend experience, like a whole weekend, if not more. So the one that comes to mind, of course, is the Florida Classic, Bethune-Cookman versus Florida A&M at the Citrus Bowl, a game that I think regularly outsells, if not the Citrus Bowl itself, at least the Cheez-It Bowl. That game regularly outsells the Cheez-It Bowl in
Absolutely.
Orlando.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it'd be a great idea, a great branding, honestly, too, to bring the Black community, the HBCU community in Orlando, or the community from Tallahassee for Florida A&M and Daytona Beach for Bethune-Cookman, for practice at the games at the Disney Wide World of Sports. And like, why not have a parade? I'm not sure what they call the streets in Disney, or something like Magic Kingdom Street out of Disney World or whatever.
Main Street. Yes, Omar.
What street? What's it called?
Main Street.
No, yeah, have the teams and cheerleaders and the bands, especially the bands. I'm not sure if they already do this. Have the bands march down Main Street. I got to look where if they have a parade really quick. So I'll hand it back to you, Jackson, while I do this research.
And while you mentioned that, I forgot about this until you just mentioned it, but Disney did announce, I'm reading the article here on Disney Parks blog, Disney working with historically our HBCUs to inspire next generation to dream big. And they announced this whole partnership at HBCUs, right? So something they can do, expand that partnership to include the Florida Classic, have stuff that they're doing, on property, and have events that they can do at the Wide World of Sports. There's all kinds of potential. You mentioned, I remember when UCF won their quote unquote national championship, they did have a parade down Main Street, USA, with the UCF student band and all that. So certainly stuff we've seen before that we know is possible. And I'm sure we both would love to see that go on.
Yeah. Just a second, Jackson, before you go on. So I did do the research for the adjacent events of the Florida Classic, and it looks like there is no Disney involvement really anywhere.
Okay.
I mean, it's a whole bunch of parties for sure, but I'm sure they can just add a parade itself.
What's it broadcasted on?
It's broadcasted on ESPN. It's been on ESPN.
Okay. So
on ESPN Family of Networks. Yeah, it's been televised on the ESPN Family of Networks for years now. It's been on ESPN Classic. It was mostly on ESPN Classic before, rest in peace, to ESPN Classic. But yeah, like I mean, I can definitely see ESPN, like, or like Disney having a parade down Main Street, USA, with especially both bands too. Like, I mean, and that's just like not even for the HBCU communities too, like for the people visiting the parks there too, to see the Bethune-Cookman. We all know about the Florida. I don't know what Bethune-Cookman band is. I mean, if Bethune-Cookman Twitter gets a hold of this podcast, they're gonna hate me for not knowing the name of their band. But the Marching 100, probably one of the most iconic HBCU marching bands out there, or marching bands in general. Sorry, the Florida A&M Marching 100. Like, that's a world-renowned band. Seeing them down Main Street, like that'll just add to the experience of park goers that day. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that we would love to see. And like we mentioned with College Game Day, they're not afraid to bring stuff into the parks, not just to the greater Disney World area, right? Like, they're willing to do stuff inside, and that'd be awesome to see. I'm gonna go ahead and go with my next one. If you haven't been to Disney World or don't really know how it works, it's not just hotels. There are like all kinds of different resorts around. I think there's like 30, 32, something like that. And they're all themed to something different, right? There's one that I've stayed at actually on my last stay, Port Orleans French Quarter, which is the architecture and the food and all that is based after real New Orleans French Quarter. Omar, picture this. It's around Christmas time. You're staying at Port Orleans French Quarter. You already got yourself a couple Mickey beignets and all that. Instead of doing movie under the stars where you're watching Princess and the Frog or something like that, you can watch the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl on there, right? So maybe a little watch party on property when it's already themed to New Orleans's French Quarter. And instead you're watching the New Orleans Bowl in place of a movie. Man, the New Orleans Bowl, it's featured a couple top 20 teams 2 out of the last 3 years. Be fun to watch, something fun to promote, blow up a big inflatable screen, hand out some free popcorn, and get some good college football on. So we know they have the capacity. Why not do it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This one was like when I saw it in the notes. Like, I mean, I thought it was like definitely. I mean, it was outside the box. Like, that's not something out of the top of my head. I don't know Disneyland resorts, but yeah, like I mean, that
Oh,
sounds like a great.
Disneyland doesn't do it. It's
Or Disney
Disney
World.
World more.
Sorry, Disney World. Sorry, this is Disneyland's like the natural thing that I say, but yeah, like, I mean, it makes sense for sure. Like, honestly, too. Now I wonder. I guess like it's not a ESPN sponsored bowl, so I'm not sure that they do it. But I guess like more involvement. I guess like with the prince. If they can somehow, I guess, intertwine the Princess and the Frog. I guess I have the mascots at the game or something. Like I don't know, but but yeah, like definitely a great idea there. Out there in the if I mean if you can't reach the real French Quarter in the Big Easy, then why not go to a version of the French Quarter at Disney World? So
Now there's
I'm
an
sorry, Jack. I don't
idea,
know what to say.
Omar. I didn't even think of that. Having entertainment cast members dress up in the mascots. That did not occur to me. I will give you that.
Sorry, that wasn't even what I was trying to say, man. But I mean, sure, if that's what you got from it, then sure. And I guess even then, you mentioned the New Orleans Bowl. It's like, why not do it for the Bayou Classic? Probably the biggest college football game in New Orleans year after
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
And a game that I'll be going to. I'm excited to go to. But I mean, the only problem with that, having a partnership with that is it's broadcasting on a rival network on NBC. So
Oh well,
that's the
yeah.
only problem
There's
with
an
that, having
issue with
involvement.
that. Hey, maybe
But
they do it at Universal, right next door.
hey,
Um,
Universal's better too. That's something we all know. We all know the Universal's better.
eh.
I'm just trying to gaslight you.
The next idea, sort of a similar type of thing, except this one is owned and operated by Disney. The Easy Post Hawaii Bowl, which, first of all, shout out to Easy Post, probably the best sponsorship of any game and definitely the best social media account. I'm sure you remember that when the Hawaii Bowl got canceled this past year. All the stuff Easy Post was putting on. But anyways, I'm thinking that Disney make maybe some themed snacks, right? At the Polynesian Resort, which is a deluxe resort that really celebrates the South Pacific and really takes you there. It's right across the Seven Seas Lagoon from Magic Kingdom. So, Omar, again, around Christmas time, you're staying at the Polynesian. You want to go back to your room to watch the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl on a nice big flat screen. Hey, before you go up to your room, maybe stop by Pineapple Lene, Captain Cook's, Kona Island, get yourself a nice cupcake, maybe a Dole Whip with some crackers with the team logo on it, something like that. And, watch the Hawaii Bowl in your room.
First of all, Jackson, I think the only two suitable places to spend Christmas outside your own hometown are Hawaii for the Hawaii Bowl and Montgomery for the Crampton Bowl when it's on Christmas Day. Those are only two acceptable places, Jackson, to spend the Christmas holiday away
I
from
would
home.
put Fort
Not Disney
Wilderness
World,
and the Grand Floridian on there too, but that's just me. So
not Disney
you're a
World or
Disney fan, you know
Disneyland.
what I'm talking about. But
Spend Christmas at home unless you're going to either of those two bowl games, in my opinion. But no, that's a great idea. A little Mele Kaliki Maka there. I would think too. So like you mentioned that bowl, I guess more of a West Coast, of course, a West Coast bowl definitely. But I think Disney can get involved with another West Coast bowl too. Like you mentioned, we mentioned the Rose Bowl having the media day as well. It's like why not do the same thing for the LA Bowl? That'll be on the opening Saturday of bowl season, which honestly, the LA Bowl had one of the best vibes of any bowl. Of the past season because you look at the game. It was Saturday Night Football. Utah State, a rare primetime network TV appearance against a Power 5 school. Like that was huge for Gary Anderson and company. For Utah State, and then like earlier in the week too. Like you had all the players, you had the star players for Utah State and Oregon State going on Jimmy Kimmel and saying a joke. It was a throwback to the 1970s and 60s. I'm getting chills just thinking about it when Bob Hope would have the All-Americans come on and tell a joke. So it was like that involvement too, like that intersection too with it was like great vibes, and not to mention too Joe Tessitore calling the game. I mean, one of my favorite announcers, Joe Tessitore calling the LA Bowl with with much excitement and everything. But I mean, I go back to the pop cultural intersection of the LA Bowl, having them on Jimmy Kimmel, telling jokes and everything. It's like why not, follow through with that, especially in this NIL era too. It's like why not have
so
like
much potential. Yeah.
yeah, it's especially imagine with like NIL era. So like, I mean, I don't watch Disney Channel, like whatever show they have on Disney Channel, like why not have, I guess in the case of last year, have have Logan Bonner make a guest appearance on a Disney Channel sitcom while he's down there. I mean, it can be a short appearance, it can be a short cameo appearance. I'm not sure the coaches would accept would be accepting much of him being there to film a short scene in a Disney Channel sitcom. But just imagine the possibilities though with the LA Bowl, having them there.
Two quick ideas that I just got off of that completely didn't think of until just a couple minutes ago, right? So playing off of your NIL Disney World type of thing, or Disney Channel type of thing, right? We've seen Nickelodeon have incredible success broadcasting these NFL playoff games in the Pro Bowl and stuff like that. I believe I don't remember. Anyways, having these games on Nickelodeon, Nate Burleson really makes that though, with him being so great on the call. But I'm sure you could get a sort of kid-friendly version on Disney Channel or Disney XD or one of those, right? Where it's a kid-friendly college football version of that we've already seen, so much success on Nickelodeon. And then also one thing going back to when you said, having multiple places do this, you could have that. What Disney really likes to do for a lot of things is a lot of events is have the exact same thing. You'd be able to get the exact same thing across multiple locations worldwide. So I'm thinking you could have those Hawaii Bowl snacks at the Polynesian. You could also at Aulani, which is a resort, Disney owned and themed resort in Hawaii itself, with a real Hawaii, Omar. So, hey, you'd be able to get the same Dole Whip snack or the same cupcake or whatever at Aulani, in case you're staying there while you're attending the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl, or at the Poly where you're, watching it. So just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, I like the Disney Channel friendly broadcast of these games. Like, why not do it like for the Rose? Well, actually, not. I do not want to tarnish the Rose Bowl.
No, you're not, Omar.
We're not
Anything for the Rose Bowl, man.
We're not doing that for the Rose Bowl, but for the CFP national title. So for the CFP national title,
okay,
that's a great idea. Sorry. I mean, I need to forget that I ever said that I ever even thought about that idea of like tarnishing the Rose Bowl like that, but. But yeah, no, it's a great idea. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the thought of Logan Bonner or Devin Tompkins, preferably Devin Tompkins, having a guest appearance on a Disney Channel sitcom, or like I'm trying to think of if there's any other shows on the ABC networks. Like I was about to say Blackish, if Blackish is still on, but I mean they pre-film all their episodes, so I don't think there's any
do the
like
little
live
bumpers
shows.
with the we used to see Logan Paul do the little
Yeah,
Mickey one, something like that, right? Bring that back.
We can do like the stuff, but yeah, so that's that's a great
One
point. I'm not
problem
sure.
with the CFP National Championship, though, I don't think any kids are watching Disney Channel at like 9 p.m. on a school night for the national championship.
That's a good point.
That's the difficult part. But if you can squeeze it in for some daytime, bowl games,
the Sugar Bowl's in the daytime. The Sugar Bowl's in the daytime on New Year's Eve this year, so it's like,
is it really?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. Yeah, it's changed because I forget why they changed it exactly, but I think it's a scheduling conflict because New Year's Eve is on a Sunday this year, so I think that's why. I'm not sure if
Or
New Year's Day
the
New Year's Day is on
National
a Sunday.
Football League takes preference, Omar. So
yeah, sorry, yeah, New Year's Day is on a Sunday, so I think I don't know if the Saints have a home game in week 8 or 17. It's not 18, week 17 of that year or of this year, but I'm sure right? Because you have rooting interest in the Saints.
Yeah, I think it's I don't remember. I have to look at it, but yeah, both Christmas and New Year's Day are on Sundays, so that'll make for an Interesting. I think most of the NFL games are on Saturday on New Year's or on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
I
Yeah.
have to look at it. I haven't looked that far in
I'll leave the
advance.
same schedule really quick. But yeah, the Sugar Bowl is at noon this year on
Wow,
that is it's so weird. It's so
that's
weird thinking because
weird,
like
man.
it's like the thing is like whenever and even then to even to this year with the New Orleans Bowl, it's not on the opening Saturday of bowl season, right? Which is something that struck me that like I like that took the wind out of me because the New Orleans Bowl, you talk about a bowl with good vibes, it's like the last bowl on the opening Saturday of bowl night. It's been an amazing day of postseason college football. And then it's New Orleans' biggest party city in the country, the Superdome. I mean, under the lights of the Superdome has that great nighttime vibe. I mean, of course, it's indoors. Of course, like the game could be played at day, but the lights are still on. But it's got that great nighttime vibe. New Orleans, a party city, and everything. Like, I think the New Orleans Bowl is like probably one of the best vibes of like of all the bowls. But for this year, it's like not on the opening Saturday bowl season. It's different. Same thing with the Sugar Bowl, New Year's Day, the New Year's Day nightcap.
That's
I
weird,
mean,
man. That's weird.
it is. It
Yeah.
just is weird. It is weird.
I failed to mention that if you do, if if Disney is listening and takes us up on this idea of having a watch party at French Quarter, right? You can get some Mickey shaped alcoholic beignets, Omar, with some rum or Irish cream inside of them. So if you're interested, you find yourself staying at Walt Disney World, New Year's week, Omar, take me up on that. Believe me.
Yeah, sure. I doubt I'll be spending a New Year's Eve. Like right now, the family's planning a trip, or more like I'm planning a trip, and the family's gonna come to San Diego to the Holiday Bowl. So I'll be finding my way at SeaWorld during the holiday season, booing the orcas.
But yeah, hey, fair enough. So really one last thing on this list for the week, and this is at Disney's Hollywood Studios for the ABC specifically broadcasted bowl games. ABC Commissary is a quick service restaurant in Hollywood Studios where you can basically it's themed as if you work at ABC, and it's like a small commissary to get snacks and stuff. And it's just themed to the idea of, hey, you're on your break or whatever. It's got all sorts of ABC merchandise in there, ABC themed snacks, believe it or not, that you can get. Hey, so throw some TVs in there and you can watch the ABC broadcasted bowl games while you have a lunch or snack or whatever. Have a little area blocked off for the dads, husband, boyfriends, whoever wants to, get some food, get some drinks, and watch the ABC broadcasted bowl games. And hey, I saw on Disney Food Blog this week that there's this like little like Star Wars collectible cup you can upgrade your drink into. Upgrade your drink into a ESPN events cup with all the ESPN owned bowl game logos and stuff like that on there, right? So, and that's something that could go on all week or all bowl season. So
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mention. I know I dogged you about this yesterday about like who would want to go to a theme park and act like they work for ABC as like a television producer or something. Like I'm like, who would want to do that? Like that sounds pretty ridiculous to me. But but I mean, yeah, like exactly the ABC like broadcasted bowl games for sure. I mean, I think most of those games with I know the opening Saturday has most of the games, and I think there's another game on New Year's Eve. The Music City Bowl for the first time ever will be broadcasted on ABC. I'm not sure if there's a Nashville theme park, but I know there's like a Grand Ole, I guess like I guess an Opryland theme park or whatever in no, there's not in Disney World, but
no clue. Not in
yeah,
Disneyland. No.
but I think the ABC I think the ABC schedule this year for the opening Saturday at least. I know the Las Vegas Bowl is going to be a primetime game on ABC. The LA Bowl will be on ABC as well, and of course you got the Celebration Bowl. It's a party, which I went last year. Of course, I mean it definitely should be called the Celebration Bowl. I mean it was fun. I mean I mean the Jackson State fans were gracious and bought my friend and I a beer, and it was a good time. So yeah, like I mean, for sure with all those ABC bowls, and if that's your taste, like cosplaying as a TV producer while you're on your vacation, then I don't know what to tell you.
That's your thing. Omar, I have eaten at ABC Commissary. It's not the greatest food, but I'm guessing it's a lot nicer than the real ABC Commissary in somewhere in greater Los Angeles. So
Yeah, probably the
it's
egg
not
salad
half
sandwiches
bad
taste
to eat
better.
at. You can get a little cupcake with the ABC logo on it, and as I said, hey, make a little souvenir cup with the bowl games. So
So you're telling me you're telling me like you don't get the full ABC experience like getting a lukewarm egg salad sandwich from a from the cafeteria.
You know what? You do not. You do not. So.
But yeah, I mean, shoot, that's all I got to say about that. I'll stop making jokes about ABC commentary. I'm sure it's a grand place to take families, you know.
It's not. It's cheap, but for a reason. Well, not cheap for Disney, but not actually cheap. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I was writing some ideas a couple days ago about this podcast, like just trying to, I was like, oh yeah, there's a ESPN like bar on the boardwalk right outside Epcot. And I'm not kidding. 2 minutes later, I got a Twitter notification from Disney World News today that they started demolishing it. So perfect timing. So anyway, so rip to the ESPN club on the boardwalk. But yeah, that's all I've got, man.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta say thank you, Jackson, for having this wealth of knowledge for sure. Like I mean, we're both football guys, but we have our own things that we can just talk about. You know, just drone on about aside from football. For me, it's like I was at a work meeting. I almost went on a tangent about Calvin Coolidge, about Calvin Coolidge. I mean, there's like a regular time where I give like sort of like history blurbs and lessons to those around me. But yeah, no, this was great. And I guess even if it's 1% more, I 1% more want to go to Disney World than I did, you know, before this podcast. I don't know, and that's a common joke among me and Jackson. You know, my disdain for Disney.
Hey,
Not disdain.
I'll take you someday. I mean, I promise, unless you want to break down like $800 an hour for a VIP tour, like I will be your tour guide and give you more facts than you want to know. So.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have to be paired whenever I'm in town for, I guess, either a Florida Classic or something else, because you're not going to get me to go alone. You're not going to get me to go to Disney World alone. So you know that's just the thing.
Not
You know?
going. You're not doing a solo trip to Disney World, Omar. That's a shock.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe I mean, I'm looking at 2023, Stetson Princeton. So I mean, maybe going to that game and then going to Disney World, like I guess after, you know, for just one day, you know, and then you know, they call it the happiest place on earth, you know, but it's like you leave
no,
Disney
that's
World.
Disneyland. Most
Oh,
magical.
okay.
This Disney World.
The most
Yeah.
magical is Disney World. Okay, so if it's so magical, why do my bills disappear, Jackson? Why do my bills, my troubles disappear if it's so magical after I go?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, Omar.
Exactly.
But, yeah. If you are for some reason listening to this and looking for a Disney podcast, highly recommend the Unlocking the Magic podcast. I've listened to like all 370 episodes. Like they're amazing. So Bruce,
Is this about Easter eggs? This is about Easter eggs in Disney.
Something like
Yes,
that.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it. I knew it when you hesitated. I knew it was about that because like the Easter eggs get memed on a lot.
Yeah. So hey, just listen to it. They do a great job. So, anyways, that's all I've got. Fun little podcast. This is what we have the off season for. So, but yeah, man. Well, I appreciate if you stuck around this long, then I really appreciate you listening to all this. And hey, Disney, if you're listening, I'm free at Jackson_Danner. So happy to help.
And until next time, everyone, peace, love, and soul.